Hi everyone and welcome to Gina K Designs Stamp and Chat. I am Gina and I'm so excited to have you all here. I can see some of your comments tonight and I can see that you are coming in from all over the country and all over the world, and it's really exciting to have you here. Tonight we're gonna play around with a couple of stamp sets. One's a new one that we just released in our last release, and one is a little bit older. We're going to mix and match them together to make a card of encouragement. And if we have time, I'm going to make a second card tonight too. Tonight's topic is bitter or better. So I've been thinking a little bit about this and how it's really easy to let people get under your skin and over time make you bitter. But, you know, there's one quote, and this isn't my final quote, but there's one quote that really, really resonates with me, and I have it almost on all of my social media. And it's how others treat me is their path, how I respond is mine. And I've said that quote before in my lives, and I really believe that. I think that it's real easy to let people and their comments and their attitudes kind of ruffle your feathers and start to make you bitter, but we can't do that. We have to get better. We have to learn from those comments. So I'll have a quote for you at the end of the night regarding bitter or better. But now it's time to make some cards, and I'm really excited about that. So if we can switch over to the overhead, here is one of the stamp sets that I'm going to be using tonight. This is a newer stamp set by Emily Loggins. This one is called Baby Boy. And I really like that stamp set. Oh, I think my front camera got lost somewhere. Looks like my camera got unplugged. Let's see here what's going on. So give us just a second here. There we go. Okay. So this stamp set is called Baby Boy, and it's got all these fantastic hand-lettered greetings in here for baby boys. And then it also has these cool mountains and these cool pine trees. And then this, a lot of people ask what this image is, but it's a decorative image. So you can create a background or you can create a border, and it's just kind of a cool graphic image. So this is the main stamp set I'm going to use tonight. And then let's see here. Hey, Tom, can you pull the Baby Boy stamp set off the screen? This next one I want to show you is Have Faith. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was a different banner. Sorry about that. This is called Have Faith. And this one is an older set. We released this one. It may have been last fall or even the fall before that. But this has some great greetings about having faith. Nothing is impossible with God. Let your faith be bigger than your fear. This is the greeting I want to use tonight because I want to mix and match this stamp set with these mountains. And I want to use the greeting, you have been assigned this mountain to show others it can be moved. So these are the sets we're going to use tonight. And I'm going to start with a piece of 3 3/4 by 5-inch cardstock. And then I also have just a strip here of white cardstock. Let me move my brushes out of the way. Now what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to use some scissors here, and I'm going to just kind of cut. See what I'm doing? I'm just cutting like an S pattern, just kind of going zigzaggy across. It doesn't have to be perfect, but that's the pattern that I'm cutting. I'll put it down there so you can see it. So that's super easy to cut. And this is going to help me to create some clouds. And the reason why I made this longer is because I want to be able to move it to different spots so the clouds aren't exactly the same way going all the way down. Now, I know some of you have some great cloud stencils, and by all means, if you have that, make use of them. I don't have a cloud stencil yet. I have a single cloud stencil where you can kind of add little clouds, but I don't have one that's all clouds. That is in the process of coming to be. But I'm going to start with some sea glass ink, and I'm going to let's just brush a little bit of that off. I'm going to start here at the top, and I'm going to come in here from the side like this And I'm not going to make it very, very dark. You see how that left a white mark? Is that visible, Tom? Is my camera too bright? I'm hoping you guys can all see that.
I can see it.
Okay, good, good. All right. So then I'm going to move this a little bit like this. And you see I'm kind of angling it down a bit. So I've got some bigger things going on here and some smaller things going on here. Now I'm going to just go right over that line now. So now I'm starting down here and I'm working my way up like that. Take a look at that. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to do the same thing over here, but I'm going to kind of drop it down over here and make it skinnier over here. And again, working from the piece of cardstock up onto the cardstock that's my project. So down here, you know, I want it to really be light. And it's funny, when you're doing this and you're watching it happen, you think, well, that doesn't look like anything. But then when you move the thing, you're like, oh, okay, that's pretty good. That looks like something. So now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm kind of going to go back and forth, creating these fluffy, thick clouds. And I'm not going to do any grass or anything like that. And you can always, if you want to, if you get tired of this look, you can always flip it over and it'll give you something completely different if you want. Now, because I'm doing these mountains, I want to make sure that I don't need any grass. I want to make sure that it looks like I'm kind of high up in the sky here. Because if you're up in the mountains, you are kind of up in the sky. Oh, isn't that cool? I love the way that's coming out. And it's so easy. All it takes is a pair of scissors and a piece of cardstock. Now, if you struggle trying to hold this down, you can always use a little bit of purple tape to hold everything down too. And you can always turn it upside down because sometimes it's easier to do it that way. I don't know. Not for me, though, today. Some days, but not today. And I'm going to move it over here a little bit. So this is a really nice backdrop even for other kinds of cards. It doesn't have to be scene building cards. This is just a really soft background. And you can even try rainbowing something like this. If you like the look of it, just do a rainbow. So let me show you what I mean when I say to tape it down. So I'm going to use a little bit of purple tape here, and I'm going to tape down my little makeshift stencil. And then I'm going to hold the cardstock up here like this, because there's very little to hold on to down here, and it could slip. There we go. Now at the very end there, I'm just going to take my brush and I'm going to come in like that. Because you don't want that to be stark white when everything else is so nicely colored. So there we go. There's a very pretty little skyish background, clouds. And now I'm going to get another piece of white cardstock. I have a bunch of them here in my drawer, some half sheets cut. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to stamp some of these mountains. Now, we didn't do a die for these mountains, and I'll tell you why. Number one, if I was going to cut out these mountains for a scene, I really don't want a white border. That's my first thing. My second thing is I really don't need a die to cut a couple of straight lines. And it was really the only image other than the trees. So we decided, these are so easy to just cut out with scissors, so let's just do that. So I'm going to stamp one up here with black. All right, let me get my Misty all lined up here. It's great to see you all. Welcome to anybody who's just joining us. It is Wednesday, Whimsical Wednesday here on Stampin' Chat. Now, I really like to have some little piece of fabric, and in the summer it's harder for me because I'm not wearing sleeves, so I'm just going to use my microfiber cloth. That just makes it slide a little bit easier and you get a better impression. Now, if you don't feel like shifting your stamps around and you want to stamp more than one, you can just turn it upside down, stamp another one, because I'm going to stamp a lot more stuff on this piece of cardstock. More mountains. And there we go. Okay. So I'm going to quickly clean up my stamp here, just so it's not sitting there with ink on it. And I'm using my same old Tidy Towel. I've been using this Tidy Towel since we got the Tidy Towel. You can see it's got a lot of ink on it, but every once in a while I throw it right in the wash with I have a couple Tidy Towels that I keep on my desk all the time, and I throw them in the wash with sometimes with my black leggings. And that works really well. So I have a Copic marker here. I have BG70. This is a really light pale green. In fact, I don't think that's even a good color. I'm going to slip over here. I hope you can still hear me. I think I'd rather have BG10. I think that gives a little bit more color. So we dropping out? What's going on with our cameras tonight? Hopefully that'll... Sorry about that, guys. We're not sure what's going on. But, okay, you guys are going to think I'm weird, but you've probably heard this before. You know Mercury's in retrograde, right? That's supposed to really wreak havoc with electronics. And I'm telling you, I have had more computer issues and electronic issues over the last week. I wish Mercury would just turn around and go the right way. Are we still blinking? Yeah. Sorry about that. Well, and I also want to let you know, if you guys have any questions out there, feel free to ask them. Tom is monitoring the questions.
Marianne wants to know if Gone Fishing is ever coming back.
Gone Fishing is not coming back. We don't have the original file for that one. And when we switched over to Clear, it didn't make it over. So unless Teresa can find that file for us, I don't think that one is coming back. But it does open up the possibilities for Teresa or one of our other designers to do a new fishing set. All right, so I'm going to just color these little trees in here with a little bit of gray. This is Copic C1. Yes, fishing is definitely a set we probably need in our collection. But that one, some of our old sets, I think I talked about this the other night on one of my lives. Some of the old sets we can bring back. Some of them we cannot bring back because they are sets by our illustrators who, in the process of maybe having a computer crash or other things, they just don't have those files anymore. All right, so I just added a little bit of gray under there. So these are kind of snowy mountains. I love this set. It's so cute. Emily has such a little whimsical style of drawing. What I love about this is that she's got words in this set. They're not like, it's not like a babyish baby boy set. So there's like words in here that can be used for other things, greetings that can be used for other things. And, you know, the images just are cute, but they're masculine. So if you need to make a card for a teenage boy, or you need to make a card for any guy, you know, you can do that. Okay, so now it's time for me to cut. So I'm not worrying about down here. I'm going to leave that kind of yucky. And I'm just going to cut right along the edges of these mountains. You can see how easy this is to cut.
What ink did you use for the mountains?
For the mountains, I use the Gina K Designs Black Onyx ink. You can also use our amalgam ink. If you have the amalgam ink, that's a great ink to use, because if you only want one black ink in your collection, amalgam ink will work with Copics, it'll work with colored pencils and Gamsol, and it will work with watercolor. The Black Onyx ink will not work with watercolor. It is a very fast drying ink though, so I do really like it. Okay, so see how easy that was to cut out? I'm going to do the same thing over here. And I'm going to keep these pieces because if I can get to it, and I might be able to get to it tonight, I'm going to try to make a second card.
And the Have Faith stamp set is in stock, right?
Yes, I believe it is. We do have a large shipment of stamps that is actually in transit right now, coming back to Gina K Designs. So if you have some out of stock, notify me buttons clicked, you're going to be getting some emails very soon. We haven't forgotten about you. Those emails send automatically. The minute those products are put back in stock, you will get an email. Okay, so there are my little mountains. Now let me find my snowy, not snowy, but my cloudiness here. So I'm not sure which way I like it better. I think I like it better this way. And then I'm going to place these mountains down here at the bottom, and I'm going to overlap them a little bit like that. And I'm going to make sure that they sink just a little bit below the edge of the cardstock. Okay, so I'm just going to adhere those with, first I want to check my greeting. I should definitely do that first. I want to make sure I have enough room for this greeting. Yes, there we go. Okay. So this is kind of a different style card from me. You know, I'm a big flower girl. I love flowers and I tend to use them almost all the time, but these kinds of cards are really fun to make once in a while for me. Okay, here we go for that one. And of course you could do a whole other row behind there and then pop up a second row so it really looks like a mountain range. Do one in the center. In the back. That'd be fun too. Okay, so there we go. Now I have my mountains stuck down. Now I'm going to get my little portable paper cutter here, and I'm going to flip this upside down. That is going to help me see where I need to go. So first I'm going to cut the sides to make sure the sides are down. Cut the little excess off the sides. I think I'll do this part next, now that I have a nice flat spot at the top. Now remember, this cardstock was cut to 5 inches, so I just have to put it back up to that 5-inch mark. And then I can cut that. And then I will cut this again at the 3 3/4 inch mark. Piece is stuck in there. And there's my mountains down there at the bottom of my cloudy background. Okay, so now this is going to go onto a piece of black cardstock. I could have done a better cut there. There we go. Okay, so I don't know if you guys saw, but in our Facebook group, and if you're not a member of our Facebook group, we would love to have you as a member of our Facebook group. The name of the group is Gina K Designs and Stamp TV Friends. And it's a fun group. Everybody is super supportive in there. So if you post a card project, you're going to get a lot of love because people love to see card projects in our group. And it's a great place to share your Gina K Designs projects. But I posted a little poll, and if you go in there, you can click on the side where it says polls, and you can find the poll. We are doing our own blending brushes, and I am so excited. I got prototypes today, and they are amazing. They're really amazing. We got a really super high quality bristle, and there's some other things about them that I really like. So, but what we want to know is we want to know how you guys would like to get your brushes. Because I know that Some brushes are sold in sets of 10, some are sold in sets of 8, some are sold as singles, some are sold in 2-packs. We want to know what you like and what you think would be best for you. We also want to know if you'd like them all to be the same size, or if you'd like an option of maybe one that was like this size of a bristle and then one that was like this size of a bristle. So you'd have like the 2 coordinating brushes, but one would be a little bit smaller. So let us know what you think if you want to go over into the group and take that poll at some point. Now I'm going to put this greeting right here. You have been assigned this mountain to show others it can be moved. Oh, I love that greeting. Good job, Emily. I'm going to put it down just a little bit. I don't want it to be too high up. Okay. Make sure that's in place. Now, this is a brand new stamp, this one. So I'm going to just take my hand and I'm just going to rub all over it. My fingers. And you can see it's starting to get a little cloudy. That's going to take the ink a lot better. So that's a really easy way to get your stamps to take ink better. There's just a little bit of manufacturing residue on a new stamp that tends to want to bead the ink up and not take ink the first time. And that's a way to avoid it. So I'm going to ink this up with the black. And I'm using the Misty just in case I have to stamp it a second time because it is a big greeting. So let me get my microfiber cloth and just rub on there. I can see I missed a little bit right there on the word others. So I'm going to have to stamp that part of the word over again. Oh my goodness. So I'm hoping that this isn't a shallow spot on this stamp. Every once in a while you get one. And I really should always check the stamps before I go live. But you guys know me. Half the time I don't even know what I'm doing live. So let me see if I can put a little pressure there. Maybe that was just not inked up as well. We'll see. Should I peek? Yeah, there we go. Okay. So you have been assigned this mountain to show others it can be moved. All right. It's such a striking card. It's like there's not a lot of color to it, so the black is really striking. Love it.
Will you be live or video on Saturday?
Oh, on Saturday, we are part of the One of a Kind. They're doing a virtual event, the One of a Kind show. So normally the One of a Kind show is a show that you go to and there's all booths and everything. But in the COVID era, they can't do their shows. So they're doing virtual shows. So some of the people that will be there will be doing classes, and other people will be doing demos. And I'm doing a demo. So I will be actually live doing a demo using the Wreath Builder. And I would love you guys to come and see the demo. It'd be a lot of fun. Okay, and you can find their Facebook page. It's called One of a Kind. Oh boy, I should put it in the description here. I think it's the One of a Kind virtual show or One of a Kind stamp. Boy, I have to look. If anybody knows, please chime in. Okay, so this is going to go onto this white card base. Make sure I have some tape in this tape runner. I've been going through the tape runners. Been making so many cards. Okay, and that's going to go right there. There we go. And so there's my first card for tonight. It's kind of fun, huh? Cute. You just lost the picture? I think if our picture didn't go out, did it? So if you lost the picture, Debbie, go out and come back in because that's weird. Something, and now Carrie said it jumped back to where I was talking about Mercury. Maybe, Carrie, you needed to hear about Mercury again a second time. All right, so I'm going to put this card away, and we've got time certainly to do a second one, so I'm going to do a second one. Okay, let me get this card over here. Now I'm going to use another piece of white cardstock, and these were cut out with the Master Layouts 1 die set. So this is cut 3 3/4 inches by 5, but you can also cut it with a paper cutter. Those dies, I believe they just made it into the warehouse, and we're just waiting for the kit stamps to get here so we can do those notify me's all at once, because we know a lot of you are waiting for both. Now I'm going to use this stencil. This is called the Sunshine Stencil, and I'm going to put this stencil. Let's see. I want to look at the mountains here because I just love these mountains. So if the mountains went there, we could even do mountains right across. We could do 3 sets of mountains. Okay, so this looks like a pretty good place for the stencil. So now that I have it where I want it, I'm going to flip that upside down and I'm going to purple tape it on the back. All right. Yeah, I think anybody can watch on Saturday. You don't have to pay to join. I think you can just come and watch the demo. I don't think there's any fees for it. You do have to join their group, though. All right. Oh, my goodness. I'm going to sneeze. Okay, so I'm going to start with some wild dandelion. Oh, my goodness. Excuse me.
Droplets.
I'm way back here. And you and I only ever see each other. You're good. Okay, so I'm going to start here with some wild dandelion ink. And I'm going to start a little bit heavier in the sun here. So I'm going to really get the sun going like that. And then thank you. People are all saying bless you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And then I'm going to work my way out, and I'm going to get a little bit lighter as I go. I'm not going to worry about going all the way to the very edge, because I want this to, rays kind of look like they move around a little bit even, so they're not perfect. Okay. Boy, that's the thing about live. I mean, if you have to sneeze, you have to sneeze. What are you going to do, right? You can't wait and say, I'll sneeze in an hour. Oh, the camera, come on. What's going on? Okay, here we go. Oh, Tom, you found the one-of-a-kind craft-along virtual event? Awesome, thank you. Oh, Linda found that. Thank you, Linda. I appreciate it. Okay, we don't know what's going on with our system tonight, so we are going to work on that so that doesn't happen next time. So now I'm going to use some sweet mango ink, and I'm going to come around inside the sun there. And then I'm going to work my way out, but not as far as I went out with the yellow. So definitely more of a lighter blend. And you can always do it this way too, if you just want to kind of scrub toward the rays, that works as well. You don't have to do the circular motion. Okay. We tried all kinds of different things today, working on different things to make the sound better, and it's just one of those days where we needed more time, but I think it's Mercury. All right, so I'm going to pull that off, and you can see how pretty that sunshine is. This is absolutely one of my favorite stencils, the Sunshine Stencil. You guys know when I first started doing these lives every week, I think one of my very first videos, I used this stencil, and I did some little die cut hills and things like that on that project. And those of you who've been coming every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, whenever we do the lives, you probably remember that. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to that piece of cardstock that was left over. I've got a couple pieces here, and I'm going to stamp some more mountains. And I think these mountains have been stamped pretty well now. I can probably use an acrylic block. Okay, we'll see how this goes. So I'm going to use the black onyx again. And I'm going to stamp 3 sets of mountains this time. And then I want to show you a little trick to change up one of these greetings. I was thinking about, you know, kids going off to college, or somebody starting a new job, or, you know, maybe somebody just bought an RV or something like that, and you want to send them a card for that. One of these greetings can be altered, and I'm going to show you how I do it. And I think it's fun. Okay. So now I've got some mountains to color here. Again, I'm not going to go too crazy with the coloring, but I really do like this this BG10 color. BG10 is a good one. And I'm just, again, just kind of adding a little bit of color up there. And really, it's just to make the mountains look maybe a little cold up there. I should have given that one like 5 more seconds to dry. It was the last one I stamped and the first one I colored. I got a little bit of smeary there, but the rest are fine. Okay. Okay, and now I'm going to use, maybe I'll try one of these warm. I use this warm W3. This is a Chow marker. It's still a Copic marker, but it's the Chow version. And the only difference, the actual tip of the brush is the same. You can refill them the same. The only difference is the shape of the barrel, and the sketch ones, which are these oval flat ones, these hold more ink. So you don't need to re-ink them quite as much, but honestly, I've had this marker for 10 years and I've never re-inked it. So I guess I don't use my Copic markers quite enough to worry about that. And when I first started out, I couldn't afford all of the Chow markers. I mean, all of the sketch markers. So I started with the Chow markers. Some people don't like them because they have a round barrel and they roll. So it's, you know, it can be a little bit difficult if they roll off your desk, where these are flat and they just lay flat. The other thing that some people don't like is on the Chow marker, the name or number isn't on the cap, where on the sketch marker it is. So it really depends on, you know, what's important to you and, you know, how the finances are. But the ink inside and the brush tip and the way they color is exactly the same. So if that doesn't matter much to you and you need to save some money, Chow markers are really good. Copic's getting harder and harder to find too. So if you find them somewhere, it's almost like you're lucky. We had them in our brick and mortar store. We still do. But our brick and mortar store has not been open since we got sent home and shut down. So they're just kind of sitting there waiting. We might have to put them online. Maybe put them in some bundles or something. All right, so I'm finishing up these little humps that are in these mountains. They're so cute. Oh my gosh. It's just such a little prehistoric looking drawing. I love it. All right, now where are the scissors? Here they are. This one's going to be a fun card. And then I'm going to pray that I don't mess up my greeting because I'm excited about showing it to you. So this is called fussy cutting. If you've ever heard anybody say fussy cutting is where you actually cut the design out the way we did when I first started stamping before there was any such thing as a coordinating die. And it's fussy, like being fussy about it, not fuzzy, fussy cutting. I've seen people type out fuzzy cutting because they kind of heard it and they're not really sure what it is, but you're welcome. I want you to look like you know what you're talking about out there on the internet. So I wonder if any of you guys have some big plans for the weekend coming up. We're on hump day, so tomorrow feels like it's getting really close to the weekend. We don't have any big plans this weekend. We're just going to be around, and Tom and I are going to do our live together for the One of a Kind. It's going to be manning the controls back there, and I will be doing my demo. So that should be a lot of fun, but that's short. That's only about 25 minutes. We got to fill the rest of the weekend, Tom. We got 25 minutes planned for. Tom and I really enjoyed going to the beach. Lake Michigan is just beautiful, and it's not very crowded, so we can really social distance and find our own little spot somewhere. And I love to dig for sea glass. I found some nice sea glass last week. I found it in the dry sand too, which is kind of weird. I found 3 big pieces. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it all. Right now it's all in a glass sitting on my fireplace mantle. Okay. So this one, let's go. Oh, how cute is that? That's just cute. All right, so we'll put that one here. Let's just tape them down right away.
A few questions about Teddy. How's Teddy doing?
Oh, Teddy, poor little Teddy. She is having a rough time of it right now. We had a very, very rough day yesterday. We were really wondering if Teddy was trying to tell us that she wanted to go home. But she kind of made a good comeback later in the day and made it through. And today is a much better day for her, right, Tom?
Yes.
Yeah, she's doing better today. But I don't like this decision process at all. I know that it's kind and you don't let them suffer, but man, I am not a fan of this at all. Because they're your family. How do you do that, right? I know you do because I had to do it with another dog, but it's just so hard. Okay, so there I have my little mountain range. And now I'm going to trim off the sides. Trim off the one side anyway. Okay. It is really hard. It's very hard. I think you know what? I'll tell you. And I think I said this to you, Tom. One of the hardest things about this for me is Teddy is my last little connection to when my kids were young. Because now my kids they're not old, but they're adults and they're off on their own and they're doing their own things. And Teddy is my last little connection to that era of my life where my children were young and they were in school and they were home and it was fun, all of that stuff. And I feel like that's like an end of an era, and I don't know, it makes me a little bit sad. Okay, so I'm going to tape this down and then I'm going to trim that little bit off there. I think I went a little overzealous here. So, I'm going to just trim it, make it match. Okay. So there we go. And I know that, time doesn't stand still. It keeps moving. You have to remember that in life, that it's moving. You have to really make the most of those moments because you just never know, right? So that's what we're doing. Every day I make Teddy a hamburger. I'm going to move this up just a bit. I make Teddy a hamburger now, and I don't worry about when she was younger, I was like, oh, she shouldn't eat that kind of food. She should eat this kind of food. I'm just giving her whatever she wants. She gets a slice of bacon in the morning, and she's living her life. Okay, so I like this. I think this is really fun and really cute. And then I'm going to put it onto a white card base, and that just makes everything pop a little bit more. This is so different for me, but I'm having so much fun with it. Got a little smudge there, but I'll just mono erase that off. Let me see if I have my mono eraser. Here it is. I'll just get rid of that right there. There we go. This is a must-have, a mono eraser. It is, if you don't know what this is, it's an eraser, but it has really super fine sand in it. So while it's erasing, it's also sanding off that little tiny layer of cardstock, which gets rid of the smudge. Now you can't stamp a greeting and then mono sand erase it off. That's not going to happen. But if you just get that little surface smudge where you just touch something by accident, it's great for that. It's also really great for stray foil, or if you get a little bit of glue or tape somewhere you don't want it, it's great for that. Okay. So now I'm going to really stress because I've got this card already done, and now I'm going to put the greeting on. But I want to show you. So hopefully it's going to work. If not, you guys, I know you won't stop loving me. How's that? We'll still all love each other, even with a mistake. Okay, so this is a super cool stamp set for babies, of course. Hello, baby, and Little Adventure, and the places you'll go, and your little man. But I really like this greeting. Enjoy your new little adventure. But I don't want the words new little in there. I want it to say enjoy your adventure. Maybe somebody's going off to school, like I said, or they're starting a new job, or they bought that RV and they're going to travel a little bit. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to do this, and I'm going to pray that it works. Okay, so I'm going to pick this up with the block. Okay, and then I have some washi tape over here. So I am going to washi tape off the words, the bottom two words. But the thing about this is the bottom two words kind of overlap where the Y is. So I'm going to take my nail and I'm going to slip the washi tape down under where the Y's drop. Does that make sense? Okay, that makes sense. And then let me see if I have my little ink cube in here, because that's easier for me to work with on these kinds of greetings. So I'm going to use the same black onyx ink cube. And then let me get my card ready here. I'm going to ink up, I hope you can still see this. I'm going to ink up the words enjoy your. Okay. And then I'm going to pull this washi tape off. And then I'm going to stamp enjoy your right here. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to get my tidy towel and I'm going to clean that stamp. But I also want to dry the stamp. So I'm going to use my microfiber towel here to dry the stamp, because, you don't want any of that to get onto your card. You don't want anything wet there to smear your ink. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the washi tape. I'm going to cover the top here. And then the D and the T kind of overlap a little bit up into the next part. So I'm going to use my nail and I'm going to just press that down in between the words. There we go. And then I'm going to ink up the word adventure. I'm going to pull off the washi. And then I'm going to stamp the word adventure. Enjoy your adventure. There we go. So now you're telling somebody to enjoy their adventure and not to enjoy their new little adventure, which would mean enjoy your little baby or your little puppy or your little kitten or something like that. Enjoy your adventure. You're off. There you go. So there is my second finished card. So let me pull both of these cards into the mix so you can see what they look like here on the screen together. Here we go. That's kind of fun and different for me. I haven't done cards like this for a while, but I think it's a really, really versatile stamp set. Plus, I love the Have Faith stamp set. So these two together, I mean, who doesn't love these big, bold greetings where you can just do a fun rainbow background and have a big greeting on top of that. Such great cards of encouragement. And I think people need encouragement right now. Even this one, this too shall pass. I mean, right? Nothing is impossible with God. Accept what is, let go of what was, and have faith in what will be. I mean, all of these are just beautiful, big greetings.
What tape did you use to mask the words?
I used some Scotch washi tape. This was just something I had in my drawer. But you can use purple tape to do it. You can use any washi tape to do it. You could even use masking magic to do it if you want to use your masking magic for that.
Is Obsidian ink discontinued?
No, Obsidian ink is not discontinued. Jet Black is discontinued. Jet Black was just a little bit lighter than Obsidian, and Obsidian is the darkest black that you can find, and that's the one we decided to go with because we have black onyx, but I think for amalgam ink, you really only need one good black, and the Obsidian was the darkest black that we can make.
No live on Friday, right?
No live on Friday, no, but we will be live on the one-of-a-kind virtual event on Saturday. And I believe our time slot, I want to say it's either 11 or 12. So you can check that. And I'll also post something about it in the Gina K Designs Facebook group. So make sure you head over to the Facebook group and you will be able to find that there. So I will definitely put it in the Facebook group. All right, so why don't we switch over to the front shot? And I did just happen to see a quick comment go by. What is our online shop website? And it's real easy. It's just ginakdesigns.com. And if you want to find the shop, right at the top bar and also on the side, you'll be able to see the word shop. You click on that and it'll take you right into the online store. But there's other things on the website as well. All of our videos pull in over there. We've got a fun challenge on the blog. So we hope you'll stop by and give it a try. Yes, my tidy towel is wet. I always wet my tidy towel, so it's wet. You definitely want to use it wet enough. If it's too dry, and you start rubbing it really hard on kind of detailed stamps, you can actually start wearing it away and it'll start to crumble. So you want to have it wet enough so it's actually a wet towel and not something that's kind of going to act almost like, this will act like sandpaper on it. So yeah, it's always wet. Okay, so we started talking a little bit tonight about being bitter or being better. Bitter or better was the theme. And I have a quote for you tonight, bitter or better. And here is the quote. You either get bitter or you get better. It's that simple. You either take what has been dealt to you and allow it to make you a better person, or you allow it to tear you down. The choice does not belong to fate. It belongs to you. I'll be posting that on my Facebook page, and I will have better quality pictures than the what you can see in the live. And I'll be posting pictures of these cards over in our Facebook group and on the Gina K Designs Facebook page as well. Well, you guys have a wonderful night. Have a wonderful weekend. Please stay safe out there. I'm going to say it. I know some people think you shouldn't say it, but I'm going to say it. Wear a mask when you're out and you're around other people. Protect yourself, protect others. Let's stay safe and let's get rid of this thing so we can get back to fun crafting events and seeing each other again and hugging in person. All right, you guys, you have a great night. I love you all, and I'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.